Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ranked and Reviewed. I'm your host, as always, Tommy West. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus.
Salutations.
Look at our fucking background, man. It says stream starting soon.
Well, it's not wrong. It is starting soon.
Yeah, I'll fix that up while we get on with it. So, for everyone joining us, this is Ranked and Reviewed. Every week, we review a movie. Usually, we try to do it in a franchise, and we usually try to do the franchise all in one go. So we do every movie leading up to the newest release, and we rank our choices from worst to best, best to worst, whichever you want to say. And we both get a list too, so it's not just one list. We both weigh in with our choices, which creates some interesting conflict and fun. So with that, today we're doing Evil Dead Rise. Now, before we get into it, we didn't do any of the other Evil Dead movies.
Nope.
We don't plan on doing it either, are we?
I think that comes down to you. Because I'll say yes, but
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get into it, won't we?
if we get bored around Halloween, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Even then, man, you know. So, I mean, before we get into our thoughts quickly, ALANNIS, maybe you could fill in people with the differences between this Evil Dead and the other one without sort of a spoiler than the previous ones.
And I think it's definitely not a spoiler to say, if you've seen the trailers, that this is not. Well, first of all, it's Bruce Campbell isn't the star. There's no comedy aspect. This goes a lot more along the lines of the original and that god-awful remake, which I don't really like. It is a very serious tone. It's and at the same time, you don't really have to have seen the other movies to appreciate it. I think they did that very well. That it's an Evil Dead movie for the enthusiasts, and it's also an Evil Dead movie for the newcomers. I think everyone can kind of enjoy it and get the picture, and it explains itself. And it could have been a brand new movie at the start of a franchise, and you might not have even known the difference unless someone said, "Hey, this is something else."
So before I get into my thoughts, why don't you start people with your thoughts?
I think our thoughts are going to be very different. And I came into this movie, and I think I don't know if I said it when we were talking about it live or anything, but I'm sure I said to you, it's going to be very polarizing for me. I'm either going to hate it or I'm going to love it. And I'm going to say straight away that I loved it. It was. I had I was apprehensions, maybe low expectations, because I've seen what happened when they did the remake. And this movie is actually everything they should have done instead of doing that reboot remake. They expanded the universe, they paid homage and acknowledged the other movies, and they didn't try to recreate it without Bruce Campbell. They said they acknowledged that there's the 3 books, and this is one of the other ones. This is in the same world, but not directly connected.
And I mean, do you think that this is a nice change of pace for the series, or do you think that this is something you would only like to see every now and then, or would you like to see them take it in a different direction? Would you like to see Bruce Campbell back?
I think it's interesting because we had Bruce Campbell. Obviously, his last work as Ash was Ash vs. Evil Dead, and he said, "I'm not playing Ash anymore." But there's been talks around the water cooler apparently a lot that they're talking of reviving Ash vs. Evil Dead as an animated series for a 4th season. So I think what we're going to get is we're going to see 2 series kind of coexisting but not really crossing over. I don't think Evil Dead will work from a comedy point of view without Bruce Campbell. He was the comedy aspect. I guess there was other characters that were funny. There's other themes that were funny in it, but I think it needs to stay with this serious tone to continue without him. And it could quite comfortably sit and they could both coexist, especially with the season left off, which ends up in future.
Yeah. So you liked it. You're an Evil Dead fan, you know. I didn't want to go see this. We posted a video about it earlier today. That's how much I wanted to go. And also, I posted a status on Facebook saying, why the fuck did I agree to go to this movie to see this with ALANNIS when all I've been doing all day is just sitting here going, I don't want to see this fucking movie. And then I posted I wanted to die in a fiery car accident because I didn't want to go so bad because I don't like horror movies like this. And Facebook sent a message checking on my welfare. They were like, are you all good? Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, like it's Evil Dead Rise. That's all. But yeah, my thoughts on this movie. I liked it, to be honest. I think it was okay. Like, I think I psyched myself up so much for this movie being like scary or gruesome that I overworked it. Where I was like, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? So I think it was a good time, and I agree with you too completely that you should definitely not have to see the other movies to enjoy this. You don't have to. You can go see this as a standalone thing. I mean, I have no idea about Evil Dead. Like, have no idea about the history of it. But surprisingly, there were still things that I picked up on from like nods to the older movies in the franchise that I don't know if the casual viewer would pick up on. But yeah, I know Evil Dead a little bit from like friends loving it and showing me pieces, and I've seen like snippets on movie shows and stuff like that. And there was a few parts that stood out to me where I was like, hey, is that a like reference, you know? I think they did it well because it was enough to kind of get that it was a reference without even knowing the series.
Yes.
What did you think about the references and things like that?
I think by the end, I'm glad they didn't do any more. There were some really good ones, and then towards the end, it's like, we don't need any more. But the one I particularly liked was the Dead by Dawn reference, which is a throwback to Evil Dead 2 of that name, Dead by Dawn. I think that was really good adding that in. There's a lot of other little ones, a lot of really in-your-face ones. Yeah, I think that they, as you said, Tommy, they did it in a way that even if you only know a little bit about it, you're kind of like, hey, I get that. I got that reference.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we can say a few of the references without really giving away anything of the movie. Like, there's a shot that they used, like, sort of like where they strap it to the actor and they run, and it's like a in-your-face shot, like, I don't know, front. I don't fucking know, bro. And that shot's clearly from another Evil Dead because it was so drastically different to the way the rest of the movie was shot that I was like, well, that's clearly a reference. And then there was a couple of lines of dialogue that were like direct quotes from older movies and stuff. I mean, I can't really remember exactly what the quotes were. Do you remember which ones they were, ALANNIS? And if they don't give away too much, you know?
To come get some. Was I don't know if it's verbatim what Ashley said, but he said things like that. Dead by Dawn, that was direct, verbatim kind of reference. There were a few in there. I'm sure I'm missing some because there were a couple of times where I'm like, yeah. But yeah. There were a couple in there that.
I mean, there was a shot of the chainsaw as well that they used that I definitely think was like a nod to a previously used shot. Definitely, yeah.
Oh, there was I'll swallow your soul that was used a couple of times. That's a repeated Deadite catchphrase, I guess.
Yeah. Well, would I go see this again? No. Do I now consider myself a diehard fan of the Evil Dead series? Not at all. Did I think it was gross? Yeah. There was actually some sort of humor in it that I guess you could argue was funny, but it was mainly funny because it was just so out there. You know,
that's my gun, you thief and cunt.
Yeah. What was the other line? Where she like says something to like when she first turns, you know what I mean? And she's standing in the kitchen and she like says something to them like, I can't fucking remember, but yeah, look, it was an okay time. It was very bloody. It was very violent. Like maybe we should do a quick play-by-play of the movie without going into spoiler territory, so like we can discuss it a little bit deeper. So, I mean, it begins. Yeah, maybe you could help me with this. Where is this curse originally from? Is that like, is it from the lake that they were at the start? Is it from a different like world? What is this thing?
It's the Kandarian demons. Basically, they come from the Necronomicon. They're summoned. They're otherworldly, and they're summoned through the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead, which basically, casting my mind back a little bit. So this is definitely might be a little off point, but essentially, some of the incantations in the book give the demons the right to possess the living, and have them as their hosts.
And yeah, so like, because it was weird that it started at the lake, and then when it's like cut back to the apartment block, you're like, it says one day before, and I was like, how is this going to tie into that at the end? And I think they did a pretty.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. Like when it started, the way the camera's panning sort of like really quickly through like a first person look at like the forest and all that, it looked like the Predator. I even said to you, this looks like Predator. What did you think about that whole intro with the drone and all that?
It was interesting. It kind of leads it in that there's going to be more movies and kind of sucked you in. Like it felt at one point like I'm in two minds about it. It felt unnecessary, but at the same time, it felt good. But also that in itself had another reference when she's sitting upright, reciting the book the other person's holding. That's a bit of a reference to the first Evil Dead, and straight off the bat, like a subtle one. I think that they did that fairly well.
I'm a little bit confused though. What was the whole like? So obviously that chick that was like possessed at the start, that was lying in the tent. Was that like her boyfriend? Yeah, on the dock.
I think so. Yeah.
So like he was like full fucking like ragging on her, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking take this bitch everywhere. She sucks, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was like, okay. So like, it's funny, bro, because it's like, are they hinting that this chick was like kind of a cunt like that? Anyways, like before all of this, you know, like, and like, did you find it weird that like, okay, like for instance, she was like the only. Okay, well, we only saw the one example, so it's not like this is like what's the fact, but like. How is she the only person from that building lot to like end up having like the possession as well? You know what I mean? She was like not in the same apartment. She wasn't like so. Like, where's all these? Is that going to happen to everyone else who goes down to the garage, or is it like one entity that can only do one? Because they do.
It's not so much one entity. It's just it's not really ever fully explained. Like they kind of just do their thing. It may have still been there. Like I think whatever it decides to do, it would do. Like whatever the demons decide to do, they will do, kind of thing. So I mean, it could go more widespread, but maybe not. Like, we've seen that happen before.
Is that what you're like? Is that what you think is going to happen in the next one?
I think they're going to keep it more isolated. I don't. They've kind of never really gone the path of full. Apart from Army of Darkness, actually, they've never really gone the full path of like it's out in the open in a really blatant way. Like it's kind of always been somewhat contained. So I don't think they're going to go full. This is here and apocalypse kind of thing. I don't think that would suit it.
The next trailer's the curse just going. I'm something different. new curse, new rules.
And I like you see this in the trailers and stuff, so it's not a spoiler as well. But I want to know, as I was saying to you afterwards, the kid in it, the male, he'll be somewhere between 16 and 18, old enough that you go into a room and you see a bunch of fucking Jesus stuff, crosses, crucifixes, a big statue of Jesus over the sarcophagus. And then you find a fucking sinister book. You don't fuck with that. You don't. Man. You go, nope, I'm leaving.
This kid was like, okay, when I first saw this kid, I was like, oh, so we have like a 14-year-old kid that really likes music or whatever, you know, and likes the turntables and shit and wants to be a DJ and really vibes with the music, you know. And then they're like, go drive the car and get pizza. I'm like, oh, so this kid isn't really a kid. Oh, this kid's old enough to drive. I had no idea. And then this same kid is old enough to drive and look after his little sisters and shit. After an earthquake happens in like under their apartment, like this dumbass looks into a hole in the ground and he's like, whoa, there's like an old bank vault here. Let's go look. And everyone's like, get away from the hole, you dickhead. Like, there's gonna be like, it could have aftershocks. You're gonna get owned. And he was like, no, like, check it out. Let's go check this vault out. And then they go into the bank vault. They take the vault. They take this shit out of the vault and it's like a book. Well, we didn't say it was a book, right? In the vault? No, we didn't say it was a book. He just like grabbed something that was like wrapped in shit. Yeah. And then he takes this book upstairs, tries to open it. It's got like teeth on it or some shit. It like cuts him, absorbs his blood, and opens. And it's like, this kid, man, like, look, I understand he's young and he wants to see what happens and he's like inquisitive and shit. Like, this thing had teeth, this book. So like, I don't know. If I saw a book absorb me, say I was reading R.L. Stein's Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy, yeah? And I like tried to open the book and it wouldn't, and it had like these locked teeth on the side and it cut me. I just go, yeah, this isn't for me. Let's throw this book out. Like, I don't even want to read that bad. Like,
and as I said, man, and this coupled into, you got it from a buried vault with crucifixes hanging all over it. How many more nopes do you want here? Like, how many more red lights do you need
before you
go? You
know, before you don't play that record as well, you know, all the two records. It's not even one record.
The first record where the guy's going, I'm going to read from the Book of the Dead to all my godly friends. And he's like, you know what I'll do? I'll listen to another record at this point. At that first record, even though you just had this weird book to a bunch of weird shit, and it's been hidden with all this godly, like, red light shit, you then put on the record. The second one.
As I said, it's not just one record. It's like multiple records. You have to put two of them on to finish the fucking thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, this kid was asking for it. But like, apart from a few little weak storylines where it's like, there's no way a 16, 17-year-old teenager would want to open this fucking book and then play these records and speed it up. And like, it's a bit weak with there. But apart from that, like, I think it was a very coherent movie. It was pretty enjoyable for a horror movie that I'm not really into. And yeah, like, I don't really have much to like put it against because I have not really seen the older Evil Deads. All I know is that there's more of a humor to them than there is a horror majority of them. I don't think the remake was like that, was it?
What was that?
The remake in 2013, that was more horror vibed as well.
That was serious as well.
Yeah. So I mean, is that the last one that they made before this?
After the remake, they then did the Ash vs. Evil Dead seasons, and now this.
Yeah. So, and then after their book, you know, opens and flips some pages, and he's like playing this record, and it's like, I said to the guys, I just brought this Book of the Dead, and you should not read from the Book of the Dead. And this guy yelling. And then he's like, no, we must read from the Book of the Dead. And then fucking, yeah, like as he's like spinning the record, you see like the curse like sweep through the city, yeah. Or the next.
That's not so much sweeping through the city as going
like,
through them.
Yeah, going. That's what I mean. It's like sweeping through the city.
Yeah.
Them, you know what I mean? And then it takes their mum. Like, and not even, it doesn't even take the dickhead that put the records on and opened this book or trap. I got this book from a trap. It like literally was easy. By the way, what the fuck was that you just held up? Was that a noose?
Dog
Man,
lead.
dude, I thought that was a noose for a second. I was like, ALANNIS, what's going on? I literally thought that was a noose. Sorry. So yeah, like it didn't even get the guy that like was irresponsible with this curse sort of thing. It got the mum. It didn't. Well, I'm not going to say spoilers. We'll go into spoilers in a minute. And then from then on, what did you think about the whole main character this time with the guitar tech chick sort of thing? And all that?
I liked her. She was a decent character. I didn't like the overarching. You're a groupie. Groupies are one thing, but when you're a guitar tech, you're actually employed. You're a technician. You're working with bands. You're not really a groupie at that point.
Yeah, no, that's weird, man. I don't know one person that's like, well, I'm fucking the guitar tech.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no, I'm with the lead singer. You know what I mean? That actress, by the way, I'm looking up the movie now. She's fine. Her name's Lily Sullivan in that movie. Wait, she's Australian?
What?
Lily Sullivan is one of Australia's rising stars of the screen. Lily, at the age of 17, made her feature film debut in 2012 in PJ Hogan's Mental, opposite Toni Collette and Leo Schreiber. Her role as Coral Muchmore earned her an ACTA Award nomination for Best Young Actor and Film Critics Circle of Australian Award nomination for Best Performance by a Young Actor. Lily starred as Miranda in the highly acclaimed series Picnic at Hanging Rock, which premiered at the Berlin Film Festival. She has been in.
I've heard of that.
She has been in Jungle from 2017, Romper Stomper, the series.
There was a series of Romper Stomper?
TV miniseries in 2018, 6 episodes.
That would not be as good as the original.
Fucking no, of course it wouldn't. She's in the Other Guy TV series. I Met a Girl, Monolith. I don't know. Stuff I haven't seen.
Yeah. Stuff I'll never see.
She's very good, though.
Yes.
Very attractive. Very different looking to a lot of other actresses, you know what I mean? Doesn't have that classic actress feel.
Yeah.
And then the mother.
Oh, up a butt.
The mother was Alyssa Sutherland. And she
did a fantastic job acting, though. She was.
Yeah, well, she's been in quite a lot. I'm looking at it now. There's like Vikings, The Mental State, Timeless, Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Dun dun.
Dun, dun. So yeah, I mean, like this kind of looks like. Whoa, wait a second. Well, hold on. Hold the phone. She's Australian too.
Wait. Wow.
It says, because I was like, wait a minute, hold the phone. It says, born Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.
There you go. Australians are better at being Americans than Americans.
We're taking over. That's right. That's right. Fucking barbecues and beers coming your way. Fuck no. So yeah, I mean, they did a really good job. What did you think of the kids in this? I only really recognized one kid out of the lot, and that was the littlest kid. And I don't know what I've seen her in. I'm going to look it up now.
I think they did a good job.
Well, I don't know why that chick looks familiar, that little girl, because she's in nothing I know
of. Generic child.
Yeah, child actress number 7. She was very good. I think they were all pretty good in it. There was no one I hated in this movie at all.
Yeah, I think the child, the kid, the boy, yeah, the kid, the child, that one, the one with the bits, skin the human. The dude, he was irritating, but I think he was meant to be irritating. He was a fucking dumbass, and it was good seeing him have a somewhat painful death.
What about that idiot from down the hall that's like, may I pray?
Yeah.
You're an idiot, man. Like, he's like, let's all pray. Here, come in, everyone. It's like, she fucking, like, tried killing us.
Then there was the other kid with the long hair that you didn't actually see die. You just see him dead later on. It's like, well, I assume he's dead too.
Yeah, there was
The
some
one
funny.
with you see the little brother get fucked up, and then they go there later, and there's the other guy's like, you see him swallow the eyeball, and it's like, I assumed it was implied that he choked to death on it.
Yeah, that's my biggest gripe is that kill. That's
That eyeball though, that was a bit of a call out to Evil Dead 2. A similar thing happens in that.
yeah, but it was so out of place, man. Like all the other all the other killings were so brutal, gory, and like pretty hectic. And that killing was like silly. And
I don't think that should have been a kill.
the
That's
CG
why
was
when it
good
actually
too.
happened, I'm like, and we didn't see him die, and then you see him dead afterwards. I'm like, so he choked on the eye.
Yeah, man.
I think he should have just been a gross the eyeballs in my mouth kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, what a little bitch, man.
Yeah. At least there was child murder.
Fuck. I don't know, man. It was good. It was good, and there was like some silliness. As much as people are like, oh, it's more serious and there isn't really humor to it. I mean, there is some silly humorish bits, like some of the lines the mum says while she's possessed and things like that. By the way, a little bit of trivia for it. The film was originally meant to release exclusively through HBO Max via direct to streaming, but it performed so strongly during test screenings that the studio decided to release it theatrically instead.
This movie just keeps like, cause the same thing. It was like, there was a handful of sessions. Like the only place this side of Chadston was the session after the one we went to. It was nowhere else. And then within a few days, heaps of sessions sprung up.
So, the filming location was Auckland, New Zealand.
Okay, so Australians are more American than Americans, and Auckland is more like LA than LA.
Man, I'm trying to find it. Where's the director from? Let me go to this. Lee Cronin. She's also the writer. Oh, it's a he. Sorry. He's also a writer. We're in the years that apparently gender doesn't matter. So what does it matter if I fuck that up?
How go to Auckland and go, you know what? This looks like America.
So where's he from? Is he from? I'm looking now. Born. Dude, it's weird because this guy doesn't look like he is from. He could be from Australia. I fucking don't know. Wait, here we go. No, he's from Dublin.
Who is? Oh, the writer.
Director/writer. This is like his really first big thing, I think. Like you look at the other thing and there's some stuff, but nothing of like substantial.
A movie produced by Americans, directed by an Irishman, made in New Zealand with Australians.
What do you think the budget was on this? Have a guess.
I will say 25 million.
Half that.
Really?
12 million. 12 million.
Ah, I think it's going to make that very easily.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of already has. Like, has it got like what it's made so far at the box office? I'm having a look. No. So it's opening weekend everywhere. It looks like it. So that's weird, man. I swear that people had like seen this very. Yeah, see, like at March 15th, it premiered at South by Southwest Film Festival.
Ah, that one.
Yeah, and also in Argentinian, it's Evil Dead, El Desperado.
And in Spain, they don't have it yet. Like Halloween 3.
They're waiting 34 years for it, like Halloween 3.
Dick Warlord!
Let's get into spoiler territory quickly. If anyone doesn't want to see spoilers or hear spoilers for the movie, then I say back out. But like, look, there really isn't much we're giving away here. It's not like the ending is the part that everyone wants to. What happens at the end? Like, it's not one of those movies. ALANNIS, what did you think of the ending, and what do you think it sort of like is leading us to believe is gonna happen with the series? Because I feel like it was kind of like going, huh, at the end. What do you think?
I think it's leading into I don't know. I don't know if it's going to directly connect to another movie. Like I don't know if I want a replacement character for Ash at this point. I don't know if I want to see more of this heroine. I ideally I'd like to see more, but I'd maybe like to see other settings, other groups. Maybe a trilogy and it can interconnect in the third one. But I'd like to see another take where the third book appears somewhere. Like some people might say, "Oh, you're just treading water there," but I don't think so. I think that
Well, I definitely think that they have to do that, don't they?
yeah,
Like that's kind of what the series is doing now. Like they've kind of wrapped up Ash's like portion of the movie, like story, and that was the first book. Now this one's about the second book. So I mean, like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you reckon that was definitely like the end for that demon? Because like, didn't the priest say on the like record that like he tried dismembering him and that wouldn't work, or did he say that that was the only option?
only way is dismemberment.
So that was like definitely finale for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was no way you could go more, like, you couldn't kill this thing anymore dead.
Yeah. It
So
became a beast.
for anyone wondering, at the end of the movie, so like all the people that are possessed by this thing, like mashed together to create, is it a necro? What's it called? Does it have a name, the thing?
They're Deadites.
So yeah, it creates
Or Kandarian demons.
Yeah, or Kandarian demon. Creates one of those. And like the only way to do it is to like behead it. So very convenient that they have a wood chipper at the bottom of their fucking apartments. I mean, I guess the apartments are getting like leveled in a month or whatever, so they're getting everything set up, but I didn't really see much other construction equipment, did you?
I think it might have been shotgun dudes. Because at one point he's like, I've got the tools downstairs, but it's in my truck. So I think
Very true. Very true. So yeah, basically she stuffs this thing through a wood chipper, and then the head's severed, and yeah, that's it.
Stop and smack.
Yeah, kicks the head into the fucking wood chipper as well, you know? And yeah, a lot of blood. So yeah, I mean, like, we'll kind of wrap it up because there wasn't much to talk about spoiler-wise. We've kind of given a lot of our impressions, kind of giving you a breakdown of how things kind of unfold, what we thought of the characters, what we liked, what we didn't like. ALANNIS, let's give our sort of ranking out of 5 for this. 5, what would you give it out of 5 stars?
I will give it 5. I was thoroughly impressed. This did more than I thought it would, and it did it well.
Very spicy. So I'm going to give this, considering, okay, so if you like Evil Dead and you're an Evil Dead fan and you like the franchise, I'm going to give this a 4. If you don't know the franchise and you're going in blind like I did kind of, and you're not into horror movies or whatever, I would say don't see it. But I would also say that for the normal audience, I'll give it a 3. But for the people who like Evil Dead and like the source material, I would give it a 4.
I think I might have already said this as well, so I might be treading water. But this is really what the remake should have done. A little bit of trivia. Around the same time, I can't remember the name of the Spanish movie, but around the time of the 2013 remake, there was another film team that made a movie that was very close to being Evil Dead, but named it something else as a homage. Evil Dead made their remake and tried to reboot. And when reboot and remake thing was at its most trendy, a lot of people liked that movie, but I think this is what they should have done, and this is solid proof of why they should have done it this way. And
well, I've heard a lot of people say
I've
heard a lot of people say that they really did like that remake. You're one of the few people I've actually heard say they don't.
I mean, I like it as not for what it is. Like it's watchable, but for what it is, I don't think it did it well. I think it was just a tacky money grab that didn't need to be done, and there's a reason it didn't get traction, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a long time ago now. That was 2013, yeah?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, do you think that Ash versus the Evil Dead was sort of like a testing ground as well for if they were going to make another movie or if there was any interest in the franchise still?
I think there are a lot of people that are like, we want Bruce Campbell back. Whereas at the end of this movie, I don't know if it's because they're already in talks of having that animated series with Bruce. The fact that Bruce is also really old now, and I mean, everything has to end. But I haven't walked out of this movie going, I need Bruce Campbell back in this franchise to make it good again. Whereas I did with the remake.
Fair enough. So there you go, everyone. That is like all you really need to know if you want to go check this out. I mean, I hope we also gave everyone what they wanted that maybe have checked this movie out and just wanted to see other people's opinions on it and things. And we thank everyone for joining us. The next movie for Ranked and Reviewed will be, ALANNIS, what is it?
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. In 3D.
Yep. So that means that we will be doing our spin-off show, Ranked and Reviewed Breaks the Fourth Wall, where we review everything in 4DX, and we also give you our thoughts on the 4DX experience as well as the movie itself. And obviously, we're going to rank 4DX experiences, and we definitely think that that's a part that's missing on YouTube. Is there's not a lot of people reviewing 4DX, and we want to kind of take that up and be the runners of that. So, ALANNIS, I like your 4 fucking glasses. You know,
they're for these ones are for the 4, and these are the you need these ones to see the DX.
Donkey Kong. Fuck me. Have you been drinking? I only just dropped you home.
Maybe I should.
You just got home and just fucking down to fucking scotch. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Ranked and Reviewed. As always, I've been your host, TOMYE West. And Facebook, don't worry, I'm okay. I don't need you to reach out and ask me if I wanted to talk to somebody because I wanted to die in a fiery wreck. It's all good. And this is my co-host, ALANNIS Maximus, as always. And we'll see you next review. Thank you all, and Evil Dead Jar.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was bad. See ya.